Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady are the only quarterbacks with a higher QBR than Mayfield has had going back to October 25th. And so I looked it up. And coincidentally or not, that is exactly when Odell Beckham was lost for the season. So we'll make this a change my mind. And I want to make it clear that this is not a value judgment on how good a player Odell Beckham is, because when Odell Beckham is healthy, I still believe he is as good as practically any receiver in the NFL. But I think it cannot be overlooked that Baker Mayfield has just flat played better since Odell left. And my theory is that sometimes some quarterbacks need to be the #1 guy on their team. Some of them just do it naturally, and others may have a little more difficulty with that. And it feels to me like that has been the scenario here in Cleveland. One way or another, I think it is just inarguable that Baker Mayfield has been better since Odell Beckham went out. Dominique Foxworth, do you want to change my mind?
So first of all, it's hard to argue with the numbers, but you understand that just because there is some correlation, that does not mean that is the cause. Like, it's impossibly hard for me to imagine that a team is better without a more talented player. And my assessment of that, it reminds me a bit of the Carson Wentz situation, where some people suggested that drafting Jalen Hurts impacted Carson Wentz so much psychologically that he was bad. Now, so if you're arguing that having possibly one of the best receivers in the game on your team, and whatever his personality is, it's so big that your quarterback can't handle it, that it makes him bad, like that to me suggests, it says more negative about the quarterback than it does about the receiver. So it does, I find it hard to believe that Baker Mayfield, a guy who's out there and brash and attracting all this attention and seems to thrive on the trolling, that Baker Mayfield is intimidated by Odell Beckham's presence so much that he forgets how to throw the football. Like, I feel like there are a lot of other reasons why Baker is playing well, and maybe Odell being out is part of it, but it is the tiniest part of it. It's not worth us giving it the credence that I feel like you're trying to give it.
I think you just took what I said and attached a lot of words I didn't use. I didn't say intimidated. I didn't say that he wasn't terrible and then became great. But I do believe that your initial point is right. Is there a correlation or is there a cause? That is the question we're trying to get to the bottom of, and it feels more and more to me like it is the cause. Desmond Howard, what do you think?
I put it to you like this. This is the holiday season, right? So you have toys as a child. And then during the holidays, you get a special toy. Well, you get this new toy, and the inclination is, I want to play with this new toy. I want to try it out. And then you don't really give a lot of attention to your old toys. That's Odell Beckham coming to the Browns. So you get this transcending type of talent. This guy is a guy who the offensive coordinator says, when I'm game planning, I got to work him into the game plan. We got to get it to him. And so the quarterback is saying, okay, I got this new toy. I got to get the ball to him. I got to, feature this guy. When he's gone, now everything is more balanced. Now you can play with all your old toys. Everything has more harmony and things go smoother. So now with Odell Beckham Jr. out, there are more balanced offense. You don't feel as though you need to force the ball to a particular receiver. Now you got Travis, you got Peoples Jones,
Jarvis
you got
Landry,
everybody else who now you can throw the ball to, and you got a great running game too.
Right.
What do you think, Dominic?
You guys are making slightly different arguments. And Greeny, I'm certainly familiar with having your words mischaracterized. So I'm sorry for that. That is something that we all are aware of. But I would say that you're making different arguments. I don't think the numbers necessarily support, and I could be wrong. I'm sure Himbo will correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the numbers support that they were forcing the ball to Odell Beckham when he was out there. And Greeny, you're arguing something different, that it's about being the man in the room. And I'm not sure what psychological impact it's had on him. That's the thing I'm not willing to accept. I may understand that maybe the offensive coordinator is stressed by trying to figure out how to get the ball to Odell Beckham, and maybe they have a more well-rounded game plan, but they weren't over-targeting Odell Beckham throughout the course of this. And again, I'll go back to my original point. If somebody's personality becomes bigger than yours in a room as a quarterback, and that's enough to impact your play, I think that you're saying something more about the quarterback than you're saying about the receiver.
Or you could just have a quarterback who came in and wasn't playing well and had been struggling and heard extraordinary criticism, maybe disproportionate to how badly he was actually playing because he made himself such a target by being so brash and by having all the commercials and planting a flag and winning the Heisman and being the #1 pick and all those things that come with it. And so all of that negative attention is out there, and it is difficult for him to take over the room, to be like, all right, guys, follow me. I'm the man, and I'm going to lead us where we want to go. Now, again, I'm just supposing all of these things, but it does make sense to me because anyone who's ever been around Odell Beckham, who was a brilliant player, knows that when he's in the room, a lot of the attention is on Odell. That's just the nature of who and how he is.
I mean, I love all of Odell's brashness. I love all his commercials, and anyone who says that because he's not playing well, he should stop that, should shut up. But that argument you just made suggests to me that it's better to have Odell Beckham on the team, because Odell Beckham is then that lightning rod. Odell Beckham is the guy we're talking about doing these things off the field and doing these things on the sideline, and we are superimposing all these thoughts on Odell Beckham that we have about other people, and Odell Beckham attracts that attention. I would argue that having Odell Beckham gives Baker Mayfield the space to focus on these other things, because when Odell Beckham goes out, you know who we blame? We don't have that easy scapegoat of pointing at the diva wide receiver. We blame Baker Mayfield. So I would argue that your point, like it doesn't make sense to me necessarily. You want that lightning rod there. You want that attention grabber.
I don't know where Dominique is going with this, but I just think they have a more balanced offense now with Jarvis Landry, Peoples-Jones, the running attack. I don't know about what Odell Beckham does off the field, how it affects Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has a strong enough personality that he's going to be who he is. He showed us that when he was in college. It is continuing when he's in Cleveland with the Browns. Say, with or without Odell Beckham Jr., Baker Mayfield is still going to be Baker Mayfield.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.